Today we are going to talk about our master employee spreadsheet. When you open this spreadsheet, of course, you will be on our settings tab. On this spreadsheet, there are 5 tabs at the bottom, and we will be basically talking about the first 3 today. We have the settings tab, an employees tab. This is where all the data will come into. Then we have an employee pivot table that we will work with today. In the last 2 tabs, we have an advanced filtering tab and a helpful information tab. And both of these tabs, we have training videos for those as well if you want to learn more about those particular options. So today we're going to talk about the first 3 options in the master employee spreadsheet. So from the settings tab, of course, you will enter in your selections for what you need at the current time. We have 2 options really. The employee status, you can click. You can pull in for active employees, inactive employees, and terminated employees. So depending on which option you pick, that's what will come into the spreadsheet. And the second option we have is to exclude locations, yes or no. If you leave this to no, then all the employees, in this case for active employees, will be brought into the spreadsheet when you refresh your data. If you want to exclude particular locations from coming into the spreadsheet for whatever you're needing at the time, you can click and simply say yes, I want to exclude locations. This will open up for you the locations to exclude. So you just simply enter in the locations that you would like to exclude from this report. So say you wanted to exclude 302 and say 312. So you would do that, and then you would come up and you would click your refresh data button. In this example, I'm just going to go back up and I'm going to say just say no. I don't want to exclude any locations, and then we're going to click the refresh data button. And when we do that, I just wanted to remind you, of course, you'll enter your credentials for your system so you can get to your data and it will pull into your spreadsheet. And when you do this, data will come in, and in this case, it'll come into the employees tab. So I'm going to go ahead and click over on the employees tab. Now you won't have to click there because as it refreshes and brings your data in, that's where you will be once all your data is pulled in. What I want to remind you about is if you're in the spreadsheet and you go in and say you change something by accident, of course you can always click your undo button, which is at the top of Excel, or you may not realize it in time. And it may just be there. You can always close your spreadsheet down, open it back up and refresh, and you can also have the comfort to know that no matter what you change inside your spreadsheet, we're not going to take that and update it back into your financial software. So you don't have to worry about any of that if you come in, especially when you're in your spreadsheets like payroll history or your budget. If you accidentally clear some things out or change numbers, or maybe you want to do that just to kind of see the result of it being a different number, just know that you're not going to affect what's really in your system. So I always like to make sure we say that. So we have here on our employees tab, we have some of our basic things that we have in all our spreadsheets. We have our filters on and off button. If you click that, if you notice the filters beside each heading, when I click this button, they go away. And then when I click it back, they come back on. So if I had filtered, I'm going to filter here for zip code. Let me just show you how that works exactly. So say I had filtered for everybody who had these 2 zip codes. Okay, if I click my filters on and off, it's going to remove my filters, and it also brings all my data back into visibility for me. So then I can just click this back so they're there when I want to do my next filtering. So that's how the filters on and off button works. Here's a button to get over to your advanced filtering tab, and I will show you one quick thing just so if you do click this button and go over there, you won't be surprised about it. So here's some instructions on how to use it. But say you come back and you say click to view advanced filtering results, or you say clear data. Clear data is going to clear this out. If you click here, it will take you back over to the employees tab, and it will also give you a box. That's what I wanted to show you. You can click here and it'll say your information is now filtered based on the criteria you provided. To see all the information again, click the filters on off button. So I'm just going to say okay, and as you can see, there are no filters here, but there's also nothing being filtered for because I did not select anything particularly. So I can just click my filters on and off. My buttons are back so I can filter. And I just wanted to you see that message that comes up. So you don't have to worry about, that if you go over there just playing around or whatever. And then we have a subtotal by box. In this case, we have a subtotal by location if you wanted to do that. Someone apparently has requested that in the past. We do have a lot of subtotal buttons, more on our spreadsheets that have a lot of numbers with them. But if you want a subtotal by location, you can, and then you can just remove the subtotals. I'll go ahead and do that. I clicked the little circle there, and it's going to give me a question. It says, do you want page breaks for each location? And I'm going to say no. And here is a box that also pops up that kind of explains these little buttons up here in the top left. So it tells you where to click to see the different levels of the total. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this out, and I'll show you. So if you click this first little gray one, the one that says 1, it gives you a grand count of your employees. If you click the second one, then it breaks it down by location. So you can see how many employees you have in each location. And if I click this third gray, number 3, the gray box, then it gives you the details for that. So that's one view you can have. Now, if you just want to remove those subtotals, you simply click the Remove Subtotal button. I'm going to do that now. And then I'm going to click my original view button so that everything gets set back like it was originally, and you can see everything across the spreadsheet. The next thing we have is our button to get to the Helpful Information tab. You can simply click that. It will pop you over there, and you can look for anything that you want to know about the employee spreadsheet. And then if you want to go straight to the pivot table, you can click Employee Pivot Table. See how it just popped us over to this tab here? I didn't have to go down and click. I could just click the button at the top. If you want to go back to the Employees tab, you can go to the bottom and click it, or you can simply say Return to Data, and it will pop you right back over to this tab. And then this 4-digit Social Security number, what that does is we only have one customer now. If you're a Sartox customer, Serenit customer, your Social Security numbers still come in. But if you only want on your computer for this spreadsheet to show the last 4 digits as your Social Security numbers, then you can click this button and it will strip out the first part and just put X's and then list the last 4 digits of the Social Security number. So that's what that is. And then, of course, we have our Show Hide boxes. So before we do that, I'm going to go just quickly across and show you the columns that we have coming in. Of course, we have the location column. Then we have the name with last name, the first name, the middle initial. We have the status. Now, when you refresh and you did actives, only the actives would come in. I simply put some inactives here just to show you for training how it could look. So here would be all your actives, and then here we have the address, city, state, and zip, the phone numbers. Then we have our local and state hire dates, and also a retire number if they have that as well. Okay, so that's the basic things in the spreadsheet. And then we have these Show Hide boxes. Up here we have this box here, employee number, PIN number. So if you click that, there's 4 columns actually that unhide. It'll show the employee number. If you are a Sartox customer, you do not have a PIN number, this would be blank, and then you would have unique ID and staff ID. If you're a Link customer, you would have the first 3 columns filled in, and your staff ID would actually be in your unique ID column, and this would be blank. So depending on what type of customer you are is what you'll see in these columns, but it'll make perfect sense when you open it up with your own data. So I'm going to close those back, and I just simply check this box, and it will hide them back. This unhides the Social Security number, okay? And of course, it would list them out if you're a Sartox customer, and it'll say the words blank SSN if you're a Link customer. If you've clicked this button, it would show you XXX-XX- the last 4 of the Social Security. So I'm going to hide that back. Then if you want to see their date of birth, you can click and it will unhide these columns for month, day, and year of birth. If you wanted to hide these local hire dates and state hire dates, simply click the check beside hire dates. I'm going to do that now and see how they are hidden. So I'm going to put those back. If you wanted to see race and gender, just click. And there you go. You have your race and your gender. Then we have orbit information coming in. You have your primary job coming in. And I did that on purpose because see how sometimes when you start opening and you don't click them back away, it just gets big and you have to scroll over. So I'm going to uncheck my orbit info so you can see the primary job. Okay, and I'm going to I'm going to hide that back. Here I can see my termination information if there is any. I'm going to unfilter where I had filtered over here for status so that you can see where I had pulled in for inactive. Let's see. I'm going to uncheck for the actives just so you can see with the termination date and the reason. So that's what information would be in those columns. And then I'm going to just click my filters on and off, bring all my data back in, okay? And then I'm going to click the exemptions. And then I'm going to scroll over here and I can see the exemptions that I have listed that are out there for each employee. Okay, so I'm going to unhide that. Mostly, I think you will not work from this tab. You're going to mostly work from your pivot table. So I would just put this back to the original view. And now I'm going to go to the pivot table. So I'm just going to click here, my employee pivot table. And we have on all our pivot table tabs, we have an original view we give you. You are free to manipulate it any way you want to. We also have reports that we've created for you. So in this case, the original pivot table view shows you the location, the full name, and the count of full name. So this would just list each person. If you click this full screen print view button, then you can see them all easier. See how that put that up so you can see it easier. So I'm going to click back over here and I'm going to just say, let's see everything that's count by gender, okay? And then I'm going to click this button so I can see it. And see how we have female and male. We have 11 females and 12 males, which total of 23. And you can see the locations. Now, if you wanted to see who they were, you can simply go up into this side, and anything you see here, you can drag down into your spreadsheet, into your pivot table. So I'm going to pull the full name, and I'm just going to drop it here. Okay, so here I can see, let's go here, I can see their name, I can see their location, and their information. Okay, I'm going to do this count by race. So these are just buttons that we have already created for you, so you don't have to drop and drag. Okay, then I'm going to show you the birthday list. And you could use this for anything. I'm going to do a full screen view, and you can see by location. But if you wanted to just see by month, what you might want to do, I'm going to come back. You might want to drag the location off. So you get in right on that title, click it, and just drag up, okay? So then you have it month, day, and the full name. And then you can see who they are. I'm going to go full screen view. So here you can see January birthdays. There were no February. And then March. And you can see for each month, whose birthdays are coming up. So, you may want to do something particular or special sometime, or maybe for those who are teachers maybe that have summer birthdays. I don't know. But anyway, so let's just click the full screen view and go back over here. If there's something that's over on your data tab, I'm going to return to data. Okay, so they say you see something here, or you've clicked a button to unhide something and you don't see it. I'm going to go back to the pivot table. Listed here. If you're somewhere from the title line down into the data and you want to see more information, if you right click and say show field list, then here's the rest of the information that's over on the other tab. Okay, so if I just scroll down, you can see everything that's listed on the other tab. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up and say we wanted to see Social Security, not Social Security, but zip code. I could just click the zip code, and because of the type field it will just pop it into place right here behind the full name. If that's not where I want it, I could just move it, just grab the heading and move it. You can see the little gray bar kinda. Wherever that is where this is going to land. So I'm going to put it very first. So then I can see everybody lives in a particular zip code. Okay, and that you may not want to do that for birthdays, but you may want to do it for, let's do count by gender. Okay, so now let's take our zip code and let's drag it to the very first. Let's take the location off, and there you have the zip codes, and let's put their name back down. Okay, so there you can have a list of of the people in a certain zip code, especially if you were doing like a neighborhood thing and you wanted to get everybody listed. Just a reminder, this is Excel, so if something doesn't look formatted like you want it, just go up to the top of the column and then just right click and say Format Cells. Let's put this over here where we can see it. And you could format just like you would in Excel. So I'm going to cancel out of that and say this column I want to have it show in the middle. It would look like that. And if I want to put it back over to the left, see how it corrected all those columns. Now I'm just going to click in any cell just to get that off the screen. But I just wanted to show you how to use the pivot table as well. So it's a very, very powerful tool that we have in almost all our spreadsheets, and we want you to be very comfortable with using them. But don't be afraid to click the buttons at the top, see what information we've already given to you, and also don't be afraid to take the information that you see up here and drag it down, and maybe you'll get a report that you didn't even really know you had access to something that like that. So anyway, I'm just going to take us back over to the return to data, back over to our employee tab, and just see if there's anything else we need to go over, and I don't think there is. So I just want to say thank you for watching this video on our Master Employee Spreadsheet.